What's your view on Tesla? Gun to the head, buy or sell, long or short? Choose one. What will you say?
It was never valued as a car company. People are trying to value them as a car company or say that they're bearish. Bulls are very excited that it's coming next year. We've already known that it's not going to come next year. Welcome back to another episode of the Backholder Pod. Today, we have something rather special. I think we have drifted quite a bit away from general stock market topics. I do kind of want to believe that because we're all long-term investors, that's why a lot of these short-term fluctuations don't really matter much. As long-time viewers, for those of you who have been following, just to give a quick backdrop as well, right? I believe that the three of them all have a Tesla position. But interestingly enough, I think the topic around Tesla or specific stock investing hasn't been coming up very too often, despite very interesting and volatile period, especially in 2024. So I think I just wanted to write onto this recent post from Adam himself, and he said that some viewers have been criticizing me for referring to the Magnificent Six and not Seven. So this is clearly why. And he essentially listed down the year-to-date returns of the different 7 stocks plus the Nasdaq. And I think surprised, but not surprisingly, Tesla is at the bottom of the rung, and it's at negative 11% year-to-date returns. So a follow-up, I think in one of the comment section was that very interesting Twitter handle or X handle. He said that he was an X all-in Tesla investor. And his reply to Adam was that this is fair. Tesla should be out considering its performance. So unless proven otherwise, Tesla needs to prove itself with improving fundamentals, growth, ... So maybe I just wanted to open, I guess I'll be the most neutral here. I don't have a long or short position on Tesla, and I haven't really publicly offered my opinion or whatnot on the stock itself. So I'll be the moderator. But I think Bunti has a few quite interesting questions that we have basically shared offline, and maybe Bunti, you want to open the entire discussion today.
I don't know how to structure today's discussions. Actually, it's more like I look at we all inviting guests, we confront the guests, right? But maybe we don't confront each other enough. So that's why I think sometimes it's good to, go around the table and just confront the person. So actually my questions is more targeted to Eric, because I think initially when we know each other, we all, talk about stocks, we talk about Tesla. For those who are interested, can go to my channel, watch my interview with Eric. He sounds very bullish back then. But now, right, it's like we sense it from the way he, talk about Tesla. It's not that bullish anymore. I would rather say outright bearish now. So Eric, just want to confront you, right? What's your view on Tesla? Gun to the head, buy or sell, long or short? Choose one. What will you say?
I don't really follow Tesla very closely nowadays. All I know is the margins are decreasing. The free cash flow in particular is not growing very strongly. Like we kind of expected the free cash flow to grow very strong, right? But it didn't play out. And now we are all just like banging for the autonomous driving, full self-driving to take hold. Because if they don't do this full self-driving thing, right, then the next best bet, I think, will be the Optimus already. Both of these looks like they are going to take a really long time. So that's why I've kind of like stopped following for a while. Because like no matter how bullish you are, if the timeline is not specified, you cannot say that it's within 2 years, within 3 years. Then, you follow so closely, also no point, right? Like it's not going to change anything much.
So are you Tesla bull or Tesla bear?
I'm not bearish on the thing. It's like it's a very long dated call option. No? Like you have a moonshot. Like if it plays out, then the full self-driving plays out, then it will be very lucrative because no one has that kind of data that Tesla has. But that's only if it plays out. If they fail to get it off the ground, then I think we're basically in a little bit of a limbo here. Because the valuation is very rich for a car company, which obviously they are not. They are not just doing cars, right? But this thing that they are aiming for is so difficult, no one can put a timeline to it. Like Elon is always saying like, hey, end of this year, man. I think really good chance. Every time is very good chance. Like his gut feel is always end of this year. It never plays out. It take a very, very long time. And then it's like, oh, okay, after like 10 years, finally it's here. So I don't know. I want to like have very low expectations. So I'm not waiting for the thing to happen, but I am holding the shares. I'm holding the shares. So if it does happen eventually, well, it's time to sell cost.
Just curious, right? Because I read like all these tweets that Chicken just shared, right? I noticed that actually that person, this kind of sentiment is not just him. It's not just one person. I observe it across like some of my friends also. Were bullish 2 or 3 years back, but now just become like ex investor, right? So just want to get the sentiment. Were you disappointed with the kind of achievement, the kind of promise that they gave in the past, and now it's like nothing get realized? Do you have that kind of disappointment?
Definitely. I think no matter what they do, right, how much they delay it, the community is always very forgiving. Like those like hardcore Tesla bulls, they will say, "Aya, of course it's like that one ma. You follow Tesla first day, man, first time So they'll call you noob and all that. I feel it's quite a toxic environment where you cannot really like question from a very objective standpoint. You cannot question the Elon's decision. You cannot question like, hey, why is it like that? Can you like do something better? Why is the margin going so thin? Like, hey, do you need to pick something? Then they'll be like become very defensive. Like everything he does, there's nothing wrong, man. Like everything must be correct, 100%. Yeah, like he's a visionary, but I think that nobody can watch 100% all the facades of the business. You probably will drop a ball somewhere along the line. Like you have a few hundred businesses. Don't tell me everything you're on the ball. Like maybe sometimes you overlook this part, you overlook that part. Someone remind you, you should say, hey, thanks. Let me go and look into it, or let me delegate someone to look. But they will not want to. Anyone say something, right? They'll just like, wow, the whole crowd will jump on him like, wow, you are first day investor, like noob lah, everything. No lah. So that's the kind of those mentality. It's very hard to kind of bring up constructive kind of what do you call that? Constructive feedback.
Yeah, that's the dynamics. You are describing the dynamics on social media. I'm not interested with the dynamics on social media. I'm more interested with how you feel. Like you disappointed, or actually no, or
I just say what I replied you at the beginning. Right? I said I was disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's no avenue, there's no outlet for you to say anything. You cannot say anything. Like, oh, he can do no wrong. The company can do no wrong. So okay lor.
But our Eric not scared, straight away say it on Backholder Pod. Now turn to Kelvin. Kelvin, any comment on this? Are you in camp with Eric?
I want to ask Eric one more question. So right now Tesla is about 200 plus, right? So it feels a bit like that crypto, like Bitcoin, right? Where the price, it doesn't fall, but it also doesn't go up. So right now for Tesla, it's about 200 plus. For Bitcoin, it's about 60,000 USD lah. It feels like this price is supported by someone. I don't know. Like for big crypto, it's definitely those hardcore people. For Tesla, I guess it's also those hardcore people. But what if one day this Tesla support breaks? This $200. What if it one day drops to like 100? It becomes the new level for Tesla. Will you be worried for Eric?
No, I'm not worried because the size of the portfolio in Tesla is not as gigantic as I need to worry about it. But I don't know about the $200 support. I think if you look at the chart, right, just 2 years, just look at it for 2 years, 200 is very easy to break. It's only very recently then you found a little bit of support. I would say maybe like 3 months, 6 months, thereabouts. If you go further back, already, you can go down to $100 over. It's very flimsy, Tesla support. I don't think you can quantify it saying like 200 is strong support. It's not like Baba. Baba, like $60 is very strong support. I mean, it's been there for like forever, right? You hardly break it. Maybe 1 day, 2 day, right? That one then is strong lah.
Maybe Baba, by next year, the $100 is the new support already.
Yeah, next year maybe $100.
Okay. Back to Punti's question. I think knowing what I know now, like last time, obviously, I think not just me, maybe, I think not Eric. Eric, he said that he came into Tesla a lot earlier as compared to everyone else. I think for me and for many other investors, we were following Chicken Genius call on Tesla. And back then, this kind of call is very loud, right? It's almost deafening. Then once he's gone, like a lot of people just woke up like, hey, Tesla is not that magical company that we all know that it once was. But also the interest rate play a big role lah. So they say, oh, interest rate up, this profit margin, it gets thinner and thinner, and the competition starts catching up. So I don't know, like interest rate is going to go down probably by next month, but I don't think their situation is going to improve that much lah. because everyone else has caught up. All the budget models has caught up. So in order for Tesla to catch up, they need to come up with a budget model, which I don't think will come anytime soon, based on what they are used to doing, always delaying stuff. At least another 2-3 years lah. So, but then they'll be announcing this AI thing, right, on October 10, which originally delayed from August 8. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it lah. So if I knowing what I know now, I would have started with a lot simpler stuff like ETFs first. Then Tesla would be a smaller position. But since I'm in this position, I have been selling calls all week, all month long. Yeah, it's been quite profitable. At least it brought up my average down quite a bit. Bullish wise, I think I'm on the same side as Eric. Disappointed but not yet sell because I think on the outside we aren't seeing anything going on, but on the inside they are collecting all this data. Just last week, this Google Waymo, they have this 100,000 driverless robo taxi, right? I think that should have been the way to do it. Like you do it incrementally, city by city, and not just try to take over the entire world all at once lah. Even though there's a grand idea in programming, you don't. It's also the same thing, right? In programming, you don't code the entire game all at once. Right? You do it iteratively. You make mistake. You improve on it. Then you move on to the next city. Move on to the next city. Right. So I think Tesla might have been a bit too ambitious lah. Until like Elon don't even know when he's going to launch. Yeah lah. So Tesla to me is also a long dated call option. And if it goes to zero, I'm well prepared for it already lah. Anyway, I will just panic sell before it goes to zero. Yeah, because we can see all this crash coming in real time. Along the way, I will still continue to sell options to average down. Didn't Jigen say he wanted to buy Tesla at $100+? Has that view changed yet?
Did I? Can you pull out the particular clip?
Wow.
What's that?
Wow, this is very sneaky, you.
Did I say 100+ though? Was it 100+?
It was 100, around there. Either that or around $80.
That was before he joined Adam Khoo, right?
I forgot when I said it really.
Later fired
But
by Adam.
I think I did share my opinions on where I valued Tesla the other time. That was the range that I've given. I think it was around 80 to 100. But I will want to stand corrected if you all can pull out the clip. No, I just thought it was quite interesting where I think considering the two like mega bulls, I think if you pull out the speeches from 2 years ago, I think we are really, if you look at the emotion cycle right of the chart, I think we are near the valley. But interestingly, Tesla chart is not as weak as, for example, all those much more bearish names like PayPal, Disney, even Alibaba, for example. They really went through that. Go to 300, then can crash down to 60, 70, that kind. PayPal went through that, Disney went through that. But Tesla still have, I guess, a very strong like volatility where bulls and bears are still controlling the prices, keep throwing to each other. So I guess in a sentiment wise, you can kind of conclude that everybody is like getting ready to write off the investment, say that it go to zero, no problem, it's not a big part of my portfolio. I've went through that phase also, by the way, when Baba was 50+ or so. So as in, I was also ready to write off the position. But I think it's quite dangerous in a way where I feel like today, if Tesla triple again, let's say the peak was how much, 300-400. Let's say it's at 900 post-split. I'm sure Eric and Kevin will be even happier and they'll be even stronger. They'll come back even more confident. Like, guys, have fun staying poor, guys. Tesla is the way to go.
I was
lousy. I'm just saying, like, if I really telegraph that situation out, right? I think it's the same. If today, like, whatever my big positions like Meta triple again, or like I don't know, all these big companies, Baba, Tencent, all triple, we'll all come back and like, wow, you celebrate and you have fun. It's just the nature of investing and how people get, I guess, the feedback into saying that whether you are right or wrong through a very short period of time is whether the stock price got appreciated or not. Sometimes it's purely by luck that suddenly there is a huge wave of interest, but sometimes it's really just the business executing. You have the foresight. For example, like Bunti, you went through that whole cut 50% Nvidia in the crypto winter, then come back 10x. So it's really when you take the screenshot or when you see that investor performance, and then you can kind of agak know where is the guy's confidence level at and whether he's proven right or wrong more times than less or not. I like what Jeff Bezos said, which is when the stock price increased by 30%, don't try to think that you're smarter by 30%. Like, or your IQ points go up by that. But I think we can't deny the fact that all these natural laws of human nature keeps playing with our emotions. So I think likewise, initially the whole investment thesis of Tesla is always about FSD and whatever new call option that they have. It has never been a car company. Like, even if you bought at I don't know whatever price that you bought last time, it was never valued as a car company. So I'm not too sure why people are suddenly trying to value them as a car company or say that they're bearish. But then again, I also don't know why bulls are very excited that it's coming next year, because we've already known that it's not going to come next year anyway, but it's a long-term trajectory that you are betting on. So I guess the bets don't make sense, but the bulls shouldn't feel too, saddened or unfortunate in this case, because that's always been the premise of the betting one. Not betting, as in the investment premise itself.
When I bought into Tesla, I think it's like opposite of what you just said, right? I actually didn't have a big hope for the FSD. I actually bought into the auto business because I remember that was, I think, 2021 when their, the auto prices all like went up crazy, right? And then their margin is actually improving every quarter. And then if you ask me, I would say I made the mistake of extrapolating the margin. I thought that this margin is going to be there and probably just keep up higher over time. So just the auto business itself is like there's value to it, and I account that like quite a significant portion. The FSD is still like there's some premium on that. It's just that I never projected that it will be done in like 1 year or 2 years like that. So it's a little bit different if I look at my thesis versus what you just mentioned. But I just want to come back to this, right? I don't know, like Eric and Kelvin, right? Is Tesla still your highest in terms of your exposure in stock market? Just want to check right now.
Mine, yeah.
Still just like Kelvin?
For me, yes, but I've been adding ETFs to lower.
But none of the ETF is like overtake the Tesla position, right? It's still the largest, right?
Not yet. I'm still slowly DCAing. It's a bit hard to DCA when the market keeps going up, right? So I'm a bit of using Adam's strategy where I'm buying on a red day on a downtrend. But when every day is on the uptrend, it's very, very hard to buy.
Actually, I have one more question to ask Eric. Since, like, let's say your highest conviction stock still Tesla, judging based on the allocations, right? You don't sound like too excited about this company, but we never hear you talking about like adding into other stocks, right? I think early in the year, I think you mentioned that you think companies like Microsoft will be doing well, but also there's no update on that, right? So just want to ask, why not you do something similar to Kelvin, where you just have some ETF exposure, QQQ, whatever it is, a more diversified portfolio?
I think you asked me this question many times already. Yeah, I'm just
new update now.
I'm just saving. The ETF, right? My wife is buying, so I'm not planning to go that direction. She can do it. Yeah, anyway, it's our combined stash anyway. So she do it, then I don't go and do it. Then I take those more risky bet, so called. So I'll just leave mine there and see how it goes.
Have you thought about like your overall family allocations, right?
We do.
You think of it like, okay, you want to save money to buy, properties, right? Let's say 2 years down the road, you bought the property. If you look at your overall net worth or overall exposure, do you think that the entire property is like too big of a size of the entire net worth?
No.
As
in like the property itself would probably cost 1.6, 1.7. I don't think it will be the biggest, because in terms of like the down payment, it's not that much. Yeah,
okay.
In terms of the down payment. So progressively, the portfolio will grow together with the property. As you pay down, then your equity also going up, then your CPF also going up. Everything is like building up. Yeah, that's the reason why I think we chose to buy into the condo, right? Because we don't want like in the HDB, right? Although it's going up every year, but the percentage of it in the portfolio wise, if you look at it in totality, right, property will be too small a portion, which makes it a bit unbalanced.
So you're still adding equities, even let's say after you settled all the cash, I
will. Okay. Definitely have to, because once I get that condo settled, like everything reno all settled already, right? Then I know that okay, this cash is excess. I don't need it for that side, then I will put it into equities. Because if you put it in the banks, you put it in FD, then it's not working for you over time. So probably need to put it in some sort of stock market, equities, and see how it can grow over time.
By equities, you mean not Tesla, right?
No, I think Tesla is, in a sense, I feel that it is sizable already. I don't want to put so much until I cannot justify like why am I so concentrated in this position. I remember there was once way back in the past, right, where Chicken Genius he had this video, he was mocking Josh Tan put so little bit. Be a man lah. Just whack, like either you do or you don't. Don't little bit here and there. But I kind of like Josh reply, the video that he did in reply. He said he take a more prudent approach. Like he doesn't want to throw the kitchen sink in, even when he thinks he's going to be right. I think that's a sign of someone who is like, okay, matured. Okay, I don't think
What are you
when
insinuating though?
What?
What are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating that Josh reply is a very matured one. He's a very measured reply. He doesn't jump into the thing and try to be defensive. He just say, hey, let's think rationally. Do you want to like, it's not gambling. Like, why do you need to like chiong, 100% all in at this point in time? Like, so what if you're right? But what happens if you're wrong?
Right, then what big already?
Yeah, but what happens if you're wrong? So when you do investing, I think you have to consider both sides, right? I mean, for myself, that's the reason why I look at the portfolio as a whole. I don't just look at the equity side. If I just look at equity, then all in Nvidia.
Actually, Nvidia, my total pot also is very small only.
Are you
My
sure?
my largest positions is actually CPF all in.
No lah, that one not even a position. But out of your equity, Nvidia is the largest, right? By right.
Also not that large. I think what 20%?
But it is by far the largest, right?
Yeah.
Compared to the rest.
Yep.
And you haven't actually added to it.
Not since 2022.
Wow. It's gonna get bigger and bigger.
Later, Chicken got comment again. Seeing now claim everything, so then 2 years later become this kind of mood already. Yeah, selling call options on Nvidia.
That's the whole point of recording online, because it's archived. So you'll see really there will be a change in mood and style. Sometimes when they say when you've hot very big, right? I think work also got win in Chinese, right? Then when everything tank, right? It'll be as gloomy and then like tomorrow, there's no tomorrow like that. I think it's just the fact of life in investing.
Yeah, drop 20%. Chicken text me, want to do a pot? No, I'm busy.
Actually, I want to ask Kelvin, right? Kelvin, do you mind sharing, or actually do you track, right? When you trade options or you wheel with Tesla, right? Is your cost price like close to zero now?
Not close to zero lah.
So no, of course negative already lah.
To be honest, I haven't been tracking it. It's very tedious because I've been adding on other strategies like the credits. I've been trying out credit spreads. Recently, there's a new one, the ratio spread. I just need to keep learning more strategies. So, and if the market's being so volatile, I'm sort of like closing and opening position every few days. So after I think 1 or 2 years ago, I stopped tracking already because it's so tedious. But I think Bundy has a solution. This is just to look at IBKR, profit and loss. It's definitely not zero yet because
the shares are going to get free soon.
No, it's not. It's not. Because one option is about I think $100. I think somewhere there, $100. So you sell a month, you minus off $1 of your cost price per 100 share. So it's nowhere there but it's definitely lower than my current average price
So then I think a second question that I always get, I think over the last 2.5 years, I will open this question to maybe both Kevin and Eric also. Because the way you all describe it, right, it feels like it's dead money. Meaning for Tesla, you all hold that fervent belief that in the future it's going to generate a lot of profits, free cash flow, the stock price will reflect the earnings, etc., etc. But I think within the short term, you all might not be as bullish as previously, especially of this drawdown. Then do you all consider at all like opportunity cost, switch the money, sell Tesla, buy Nvidia first, or don't even need to buy Nvidia, maybe just park it somewhere and then wait for it to, I don't know, look at some TA or breakout, then you start going in again. Because it really feels quite torturous, right? When it might not be a very big sum, I mean, all things considered, but I think it's still like you guys say, a sizable amount, right? So how do you all see this opportunity cost discussion and moving money, just especially when you already know or you all have the outlook that it's not the best way or best place to park the money?
You guys talk a lot about this Aswath Damodaran guy, right? For him, if you guys trust his calculation, he says that Tesla right now is at its intrinsic value. So maybe that's why Tesla has been hovering around this area. But is he right or not? This one I don't know. But is there a better place? This one I'm not sure either, because right now I'm like trying to go all into ETFs. So if I were to switch out, it will be going into ETF. Then ETF right now is going up while Tesla is staying still. So what happens if those comments were right? They oh yeah, the market is at its peak, it's going to crash soon. So if I'm going to switch over, I'm going to buy something that is at its peak versus Tesla, which is maybe still at its peak also. So both will crash together. But for Tesla, I'm very familiar with its trend, so I know how to play options on it. Then so the time when I was trying out credit spreads on QQ, right? Wow, I didn't realize QQ can be so volatile. Like when I was buying it, I think during the Japanese yen, the unwinding of the trade, wow, QQ it down, then the next day up again. Yeah, wow, very pain. But credit spread got the limit loss. So for Tesla, it's not that bad because it moves, see, it still go back to the same price again. Go down, go back to the same price again. So I don't know, it's a bit like that Stockholm syndrome, right? Where you are with the robber. You come to your house, you make friend with the robber already, you make him some tea. So I think a lot of investors, they are like Eric, it's like, yeah, a bit of opportunity cost. Yeah, but never mind, we are friends with the stock for 3 years already. Let's just hold it for another 10 more years. But at least for me, I'm selling options on it. So maybe not bad. The options yield on it is about 10 to 20%, somewhere there. Yeah, then meanwhile, I'm adding my capital onto ETFs. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, how about Eric? Stockholm syndrome with Tesla.
Actually, I don't know what's that syndrome. What does it mean?
Basically, long story short is I think it was used in Money Heist or something where you got like Calvin said like got robbed. Let's say the burglar kind of rob you, then he kidnap you for the last 49 days. Then you all become friends. Then in the end you make tea with him. Basically, you are stuck in an undesirable situation, but it became your new normal. So you just accept the fact that that's your new normal.
I'm not sure whether this thing describes our situation perfectly. Like I think the opportunity cost thing also is it's not so easy to explain also. Like when you invest in a stock, you don't know when it's going to run. You don't know when it's going to drop. So when you invest, you buy, you're basically just waiting for the day that it will realize its potential. But if you if you try to trade in and out, unless you are like that good with it, which I don't think I am. So I'll just leave it there lah. And I also don't think I'm that great with options. So I don't try to be too smart, do funny things. I definitely don't mind selling calls when it's above my average price. Like when it's come close, then I just sell a call. If you want to call away, then so be it lah. I mean, fine with it, make some money. Part of it lah, not all of it. Part of it, I can earn a little bit, but I'm not really that keen to sell calls or sell puts to earn like $1-2. To me, I think that the long tail risk to me is much greater than the probability of earning that $1-2. Like of course, if you can do it like for 100 days, 100 weeks consecutively, you might bring your cost price down like $100. But the chances of you doing that, right, to me is pretty low. Because I've done call options before. I know definitely in 1 year, right, there will be some long tail event in 1 year. Not even saying like 2-3 years. 1 year. So how many call options can you sell in that 1 year that makes you good money? I would say the optimum period for options, right, that I noticed is about 4 weeks. Then the decay starts to accelerate from the third week very fast. You drop off rapidly from the second to the third week, and then the fourth week is almost nothing already if your strike price is very far. So with that in mind, I think that to me long story short, is the long tail risk I don't want to take. It's not that I don't want to pick up that $1-2, but if I pick up that $1-2, maybe it will cost me to lose like $100 over for that $1-2. So nope, this is a asymmetric risk reward that is not in my favor. I used to think that is selling this call, selling this put is very exciting lah. Like 2-3 weeks I can make a bit of money here and there. But I look at my own track record, it sucks. It's really very bad. I really don't know. I think if you do the opposite of what I do, right, you probably make very good money. I honestly think that. But when I make those bets, right, it seems very logical. The probability, right, I use the Option Express, right, the probability is always like 95% and above one. If you look at their probability, that graph, right, they will show you, wow, your trade, what? They will tell you very good, well done, very high probability. The market will have to move like 2 SD for you to lose money. Then every time, right, within 1 year, you will move more than 2 SD. Then like win already lor. How come you always trying to play me out one? This is regardless of the underlying, whether is it QQQ, Tesla, Baba, whatever not. Walao, I think I really got a Midas touch, inverse one. So I don't know lah. I know myself, I'm not that good, especially at options. Yeah.
No ma, your recent sell call on Tesla also doing great ma. I saw you profit. Not bad.
A bit like $700-800, but that's like very small money lah. But it's only when the risk reward is really, really, really very good. Then I don't mind doing one contract. So I'm very timid in that sense because options I cannot burn quite badly multiple times. I even got burned by Baba option. Can you believe it? I don't know Baba. I got burned by Baba option. Goodness. Yeah. Okay, so give up. I give up.
But actually, if you trade Baba options when it's range bound, right, it's actually quite fun.
Hey, but you know when I traded Baba put, right? Like I sold the put when it just dropped below 200. You know when Baba was coming down from 300, then it dropped to 200, right?
Okay.
Then people are saying like, wow, drop $100 over already, won't drop anymore. So I sold the put, and then I keep rolling it until like 120, I think. And then I like,
Cannot really.
screw it. I take the loss. I take the lose. I cannot. It's the one I really roll until from 200 it crashed all the way down to 120. Then I gave up at 120, and you know what happened after that, right? It still goes down all the way until 50. Like win already. This Baba really, I think it killed a lot of people.
Yeah, especially those that are on leverage. I think that kind of sums up our discussion on Tesla, the whole investing psychology, and the name of this podcast, which is Backholder Pod. But if not, if you guys have any comments or anything that you want to discuss, please feel free to leave in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.